Republicans from the federal level to the state level, which is what I'm going to be talking about today, are weird little freaks. There's no more accurate way to put it than that. There's a guy in Tennessee, he's a state legislator, named Gino Bulso. I've talked about him before. He is dedicated to the prospect of bigotry and oppression and harming marginalized groups that are already traditionally abused in our society. And he has made it his life's mission, his life's goal, to keep them down, to keep his boot upon their metaphorical neck. And yesterday, on the floor of the Tennessee State House, he is making an argument for cousin. You'll find out why. Stick around. It's a good one. You're going to find out why. But he is advocating for lifting the ban, I guess, on first cousins marrying. You know, the true priorities of someone who represents a constituency. Really hitting the hard issues that everybody wants dealt with. And in it, I mean, one, it is what he truly, truly believes, but he's using Obergefell, the Supreme Court case that made same-sex marriage, made marriage equality the way of the world here in America. And I'm going to play this clip of him using his weird, bigoted argument to make legal first cousins. Imagine being Rudy Giuliani. That's what it is. And I'm not speaking to the science behind it or anything else, just the social mores of marrying your cousin. It doesn't help that it's in Tennessee, I think Tennessee borders. Well, there's certain states where this is kind of a trope. It's kind of a joke where cousins marry each other, brother and sister marry each other. If I had not just crickets here, if I had the banjo music like I do on the podcast, I would play it. But watch Gino Bulso argue for cousins being able to marry one another. Then I'm going to have a reaction from one of his Democratic colleagues, and then we're going to get to why. Why? And I wonder if it's because he's a product of cousin coitus. Watch this.
Would move to table this amendment that would allow first cousins to marry.
Members, I would encourage you to vote against the tabling motion for the reason that it is not supported by any argument that this bill complies with Obergefell. And the tabling motion simply tries to sweep under the rug the fact that my Democratic colleagues do not want to address the fact that there is no compelling state interest to prohibit a male first cousin from marrying a male first cousin. Do you also agree, sponsor, that there is no public health risk between or caused by a male first cousin marrying a male first cousin?
Representative Jernigan.
Thank you. I would say that public health is not listed in my bill at all. It's just you can't marry your cousins. Representatives, if you want, as your amendment suggested, first cousins to marry, that's fine. I don't think it for you, but I don't think it violates Obergefell at all.
And the fact of the matter is that unless anyone in this body can articulate a compelling interest to deny a male first cousin from marrying a male first cousin, this bill demonstrably violates Obergefell, and we should vote it down.
Representative Jernigan.
Well, I can say this. It's outlawed already. It's criminal in Texas. It's already outlawed in the states, and those have not been struck down by the courts. So apparently there is some kind of interest somewhere.
So why expend so much energy on this when there are most certainly more important things to address with your time, with your job, with your elected position of power? But no, Gino Bulso, the man who loves to wear his AR-15 pen to promote, in Tennessee, where they just had a school shooting, promote rampant, unfettered gun access, weapons of war in the hands of maniacs. So here's a reaction from Antonio Parkinson, one of his Democratic colleagues, who really lays it all out in no uncertain terms of what in the hell's going on here.
Man, bro, look, man, I don't know how, all I can say is it's ballsy. It's really, really ballsy to fight to keep, cousins, fight for cousins to get married, first cousins to get married in state law. So that's.
Any Saturday Night Live is going to pick it up?
I'm afraid so. I'm afraid he's going to break the internet again. So, yeah.
How is he wrong? How is he wrong? He did break the internet. I really do hope that somebody from Saturday Night Live, hopefully I'm giving a little bit of an amplification to this, that somebody sees it on the writing staff of SNL and does a sketch on this, because this is bananas. But what it is, it's an abdication of his role as a powerful legislator to write legislation, to govern a constituency. This is what he wants to set his mind to. I'm not even going to make comments about how the sponsor of this bill didn't have any decent arguments for, well, I'm sure there's precedent somewhere. I'm sure that's all terrible. That's kind of expected for state politics, for state legislators. But why dedicate so much effort to this particular issue? Why are you so passionate about cousins being able to lay one with another and procreate like God intended, Gino Bulso? Well, you may or may not be surprised to learn that his grandparents are indeed the aforementioned cousin that I'm talking about.
Because we might regret something we say. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. Chairman Jernigan, I'm going to support your bill, but it is with a little bit of sadness because, my grandparents came over to this country through Ellis Island in Italy back in the 1920s. My grandmother was named Sandrella De Luciano, and my grandfather was named Antonio De Luciano. And they settled in Lorain, Ohio, right south of Lake Erie, next to Cleveland. And they were first cousins, but they couldn't get married in Ohio. So back in 1924, they actually came down to Tennessee to get married. But for the existence of the current law, I would not be here. But despite that, I think it's good legislation, and I intend to support it.
There's an opening there, isn't there?
All right, Leader Lamberth, you're up. Teed up.
I'm not real sure what to say after that, but I will say this. I'm just gonna just disregard what was just said and appreciate that family history.
He admits it and he laughs, some hearty laughs. Oh, my grandparents were first cousins. So yeah, I guess it's just a bonus that he wants to oppress gays or use some weird, antiquated, naturalistic argument against gay marriage while arguing for heterosexual cousins getting to marry one another because they'll be able to procreate and continue the glory of children. I mean, this is the Republican Party in 2024. This is where we are. These are their priorities. This is what they waste time on. And it's broadcast live, so we're able to witness it. Anyway, what do you think? Are you in Tennessee? Are you married to your cousin? By the way, I don't know. I think you're in the clear with the first cousin. I don't know. I'm married and not to my cousin, so I don't know. But I know in California, I think you can marry your first cousin legally. It's a little creepy. Anyway, what do you think? 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I don't want to start the debate of the internet about cousin coital relations, but here we are. And here we go. If you appreciate what I do and you want to help support this work, you want to help me make these videos, click the join button below this video on YouTube, become a channel member for $2 a month. You can also go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Same deal, $2 a month. Helps me produce this content, and I appreciate it very much. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore everywhere, even here on YouTube, at Dollemore. I'd love to see you. Be genuine. Take care of one another.